All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Tyranny of Dragons. Yes, this is the first official hardcover adventure module series thing that Wizards of the Coast released for D&D 5th edition. Below me are the people that are playing, and it's been a while since we've seen these characters because we've been doing a one-ish shot that turned into 2 months. But it was a fun game. They got to do silly things, and we had the Thing and Mr. Fantastic or the Human Torch running around, so it was fun. But now we're coming back to the Sword Coast, to the lands of Faerun, to kind of bring people up to speed if you are not familiar with what has been going on. I'm just going to adjust where that is because it's really messing with my anxiety that it wasn't centered. They've been following the Cult of the Dragon. They've stopped at this kind of work camp. And they're trying to figure out where this hoard of gold and jewels and all this rich stuff has been going. And so they've stayed at this work camp thus far one night, and they've noticed that once all the gold and stuff gets here, it doesn't leave. They don't know where it's going, but they know it hasn't left here yet. While they've been here, they've made a couple discoveries. Valdis was able to use some illusion magic to get them to kind of confide in him, and he got a little bit of a preemptive warning about them trying to deal, the bad guys, the Cult of the Dragon, trying to deal with our incredible, illustrious party. You guys had a really cool barroom fight and killed off quite a few of them. And now you guys have kind of returned to your room. You kind of got the idea that because you are so far removed from society here, the rule of law is not quite as strictly enforced as it would be in Daggerford or Waterdeep. So the guys that you killed, you're not really expecting to be brought up on murder charges or anything like that. The head of this area, a half-orc that I can't remember his name off the top of my head, he seemed to kind of deal with it just by giving you guys a talking to and, don't do it again kind of thing. But beyond that, you guys aren't really expecting to get much backlash, especially since you weren't technically the aggressors in it. So, yeah, Bogluck. That's his name, Bogluck. So, you guys have returned to your room, which is on the first floor, and the door looks out to kind of the staging area where they bring the wagons in to unload them and then reload them if they need to. So, yeah, you guys are all in your room. What would you like to do?
So...
Oh, and I should probably remind the viewers that Valdis had a coin, or I can't remember, was it a coin or a trinket? Do you remember what it was?
It was that ring
Ring,
that we
okay.
had just had on it.
So Valdis had a ring placed with the other Cult of the Dragon treasure, simply so he could use the ability locate object to kind of track its movement if he wanted to. So that happened this morning. Now it's you guys had kind of the fight at brunch-ish, right between breakfast and lunch. So now it's afternoon. You guys probably have a couple hours until dinner time. And any of you guys that were hired on as guards for this caravan, you have been paid now. As soon as you got there and the goods got unloaded, you were only hired for a one-way trip. So you have been paid, and so you guys technically have no obligations anymore, unless you guys want to get hired on as caravan guards again for somebody going back or somebody going further into like Neverwinter or something like that. So
Can't remember if I was fired from this caravan as guard or not. I know I was fired from the other one several times.
Yeah.
I think with this one, you guys really didn't have any like really big
No.
issues.
Okay.
And again, Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate are different cities, and the Porters Guild specifically in Baldur's Gate is a little bit different. With this one, you guys had kind of some underhanded side dealing and got hired on
Yeah.
Yeah.
under the table. Actually, I don't even think you guys got hired on. I think you were just passengers on the caravan.
Yeah,
But you
I think
paid
ours
them.
is
Yep.
passengers.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say I'm very broke. I only have like 6 gold to my name, so
But so anyway, you guys have no obligations to anyone other than the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, and the Emerald or I think it's just the Harpers and the Order of the Gauntlet are the ones you guys have dealt with that asked you
Well,
to follow.
Yeah.
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 You guys
I know I'm
have
a
dealt
member of
with-
the Emerald.
Yeah, you have dealt with the Emerald Enclave before. As far as the rest, trying to remember, Altier, you're from Mulmaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're familiar with the Zentarum have a very large presence in that whole area around the Moonsea. And you probably have had dealings with the Lord's Alliance, which is kind of an economic grouping of lords and landowners and things like that, who are primarily focused on making sure that their money stays their money and makes more money. So those are kind of the major powers of the area. And so far, 2 of them are very interested in this whole cult thing.
When I did my disguise self recon, did I get any hint of when they were going to load up the caravan with the treasure that they were going to be moving? Did I get any hint of when that was going to be leaving?
Roll me a history check.
It's been a while, but I think I'm at plus 10. Yeah.
You're a wizard. You have high intellect.
Well, plus I'm the lore mastery one, so I get
Oh,
the
yeah.
expertise. 27.
Okay. You didn't technically ask that particular question. But thinking, especially with the 27, thinking back through the conversation, you kind of replay everything in your head, and you realize that the topic, how the conversation went, the topic should have come up. And it didn't. It wasn't avoided or anything like that, like they didn't want to talk about it. It just never came up. So that kind of gives you the idea that there was no intention to load it back up and travel anywhere but here.
Okay.
You do know most of the Cult of the Dragon people, after the barroom fight, a large portion of the ones that came with you from Waterdeep have left on another caravan without any of the goods that they brought in. The caravan itself had other goods, but you guys didn't notice specifically the ones that you guys are kind of watching for.
Okay.
I mean, one box does look like another, but...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm limited on how many times I can do locate object, so I want to do it as few as possible.
Yeah.
As of right now, you know that all the Cult of the Dragon boxes you guys were able to observe, they didn't go just into the regular warehouse. They went into the locked room inside the warehouse. Beyond that, you really don't know anything.
Okay.
Hmm.
What do you all think?
Is it safe for us to even walk around?
I think
Well,
so.
we saw them. We saw them leave not that long ago.
And we did clean up the mess.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if we get jumped again, we get jumped again.
Yeah.
I'm ready for another fight.
Yeah, me too, that.
I mean, I kind of spaced out in that last fight. I don't even know. Didn't ring a bell.
You missed it. It was so awesome until these guys had to jump in. I would have had it.
Brent, when did you get here?
Oh, hey guys. I
You-
was.
You're
I
just
was.
suddenly shocked. You're like, Bryn!
Hey.
You two seemed awfully quiet during that whole fight. Thank you for letting me stand on my own.
I had this weird daydream about crystals and saving the world. It's really weird.
Get lost in your books.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what we do know is that the ring is still held there, and you specifically know where they were staying, though I don't know if that'll have anything.
Yeah. I don't have a key to the room, but I know it was upstairs, and I think first door on the left, if I remember
You do have a
correctly.
key to the room. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah.
You said, "Oops, I forgot my key," and he went,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
Here, take mine," because he's a genius.
It's
And
been
the
about a
DM
month and a
rolled
half.
real well for him.
So yeah, I do have a key. I mean,
Now, again, they're no longer in the room that you have the key for anymore.
yeah.
Like they left probably like 30 minutes to an hour after the fight, and you guys took a short rest. You kind of lick your wounds and everything like that. So anything left in there would have been, stuff that they forgot to take with them, but they're no longer in that room.
And I don't think that room will be of use to us, Altier, seeing as how we're here for the treasure, not for them.
Just think it might have information. That's all.
I'll hand him the key if you want. If you want to be my guest.
All right.
So, okay, never mind.
So, what were you gonna say, Anna?
Well, I have an idea. What happened, Valdis? He seemed very protective of the treasure, right?
Yeah.
Want to make sure nobody was messing with it, because there would be dire consequences, right?
I believe his exact words were something about his head on a pike.
What if we took some of the treasure?
I mean, if you really, really have a death wish.
I'm just saying, if we can sneak into the room, quietly gather up some, gold bits and stuff, and then,
Thing about
quietly
that
sneak out.
is with how guarded it is, I think there's going to be some way of detecting magic if we try to go in invisible or shape-shifted. There might be
Well,
some countermeasures against that.
I could detect magic outside the room.
Ditto.
See if there's any traps.
I mean, I could too. I just don't want to use the spell.
Mine doesn't use a spell slot.
Yeah, because we got Bryn for that.
I have a ritual.
Yeah, rituals take 10 minutes.
Would you guys like a ruler to measure your appendages with, or?
I mean, I have this many spells. What about you?
I have access to all my spells.
You guys do know the building that you're in is not massive. Detect Magic has a range of 30 feet, and barring like specific magics that block divination spells, walls aren't really going to stop you.
Right.
So you wouldn't technically, if you were looking specifically for magical items, you wouldn't technically need to go into the room. You would just need to walk past it. Your detect magic would go well through probably half the building.
And just a question: if I use it as a ritual, does it? I understand I'd have to sit still, probably create a circle or whatever to cast the spell, but then it lasts for 10 minutes. Could I do the ritual to start detecting the magic and then walk around for 10 minutes, or would I have to use the
The
spell
way
slot?
that ritual casting works is you add 10 minutes onto the casting time. So technically, it's an action to cast it, or like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Ritual would mean it takes 10 minutes plus 6 seconds to cast it. And at the end of the ritual is when it is cast. So at the
Okay.
end of the 10 minutes, that's when the detect magic would activate, and then it's concentration for 10 minutes.
So yeah, we can see if there's any traps or any magical traps.
Yeah, it won't tell you anything about mechanical shit. But it's
I mean, I could.
basically like, little magic glasses that you put on that let you see magic.
But I could see if there's, well,
Yeah,
I could see if there's any trap magic.
Yeah, definitely. So,
I
what
could
do you
also
guys want to
have
do? You guys have now been kind of sitting around kicking ideas for about 30 minutes. You're
I can check
starting
out.
to smell the hints of dinner preparation starting. None of the work crews that go out in the morning have started coming back yet. But you know that probably within the next 30 minutes here, the first work crews will start coming back in, and dinner generally is served like an hour and a half to kind of accommodate everybody. So you're getting to the time where the building itself is going to be at its busiest, other than the morning when everyone is there, getting ready to work.
Everything seemed really quiet last night, right?
For the most part, yeah. After about like 8 or 9 o'clock, everything kind of dies down. Mostly because the road crews and everything like that, they get up pre-dawn and are gone by like 6 in the morning. So they tend to go to bed early. The crew that actually works at this place, loading and unloading wagons all day, gets started very early, and so most of these guys tend to go to bed relatively early. It's only the like caravan guards and stuff like that that are really up super late, because they generally they don't have to be lifting heavy things, right at the crack of dawn.
Right. What do you think, Altia?
I still want to check out the room.
I mean,
If you guys do detect magic, I mean, we could just walk. You could walk around the place.
and you could just
Right.
investigate the room. I can go up to the room with you, and there could be. It's not like we have to do one at a time. We can do both simultaneously.
Right. Okay. All right. I will start ritualistically casting detect magic.
And I think Altier and I will head up to the room while he's doing that.
Yep.
All right, so you guys watch as Anna starts preparing things. She puts her staff down and takes out some other bits and pieces of leaves and twigs and things like that. You see her start using her druid craft to kind of form this little circle and make them grow together in that. And as she starts doing that, Altier and Valdis kind of head out. You do see a wagon being unloaded, and the pace of the workers has slowed a little bit since it's the end of the day. And you get the idea that this is probably the last wagon they're going to do for the day, because you're used to seeing these guys move very, very quickly, and they're just kind of casually taking things off. Bogluck is there, looking at different things and making sure that things go to the right place, etc., things like that. So as you guys walk over, are you trying to blend in? Are you just walking straight over? Their room was on the second floor, and was one of the rooms that have locks. Not all the rooms have doors with locks on them. So how are you guys getting over there?
There's a lot of eyes. I take it.
There's a lot of people, but you're not the only ones that are walking around that aren't part of the crew.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it seem like I'm casually going over there.
Okay. Valdis?
I'll hang back and see if anyone's watching him.
Okay. Altier, make me an insight check. Valdis, do the same. Or no, Valdis, I'll have you do perception.
I got an 18.
Okay. So, kind of looking around and getting a feel for everyone going around, you kind of casually stroll over, not really hiding behind anything, but doing your best to kind of exude this feeling of, I belong here, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Valdis, what'd you get for perception?
20. Sorry, I had my mic muted because the dogs were barking.
Not a problem at all. So, as you kind of hang back and watch Altier, very casually walk over to the stairs, start heading up, no one's really paying him any mind. You see a couple of people kind of, as he passes by them, they kind of turn their heads and then go back to what they were doing. Nothing suspicious.
All right, I'll hang out here and just kind of be the lookout, even though we're technically not doing anything illegal, but
Well, you
I'm
are
a-
technically breaking into somebody else's room.
it's true. And I'm a goody-goody two-shoes bookworm. Everything's illegal to me.
Yeah. So Altier, you make it up to the room. The door is closed.
Okay.
What would you like
I'm
to do?
just, as I'm like going through I know where the key is, but I'm just going through my pockets, like, where is it? And as I do that, not making any gestures, I'm just going to be scanning the door to see if it looks trapped at all.
Make me an investigation check.
It's not too great, but where's my 10?
You really have no clue. It's
Okay.
a door. There's a lot of traps that could be on the other side that you wouldn't be able to detect from this side.
All right, so
if they have a bucket balancing on the door and you open it, it falls on your head. You technically wouldn't be able to tell that from this side.
all right,
You
so
have
I'm
no
just
idea.
I'm just gonna be like I finally find it. I'm just like and I pull it out and I'm gonna unlock the lock.
You do hear a click, signifying that the door was locked.
All right, open it.
As you open it, you hear "Ah!" And in front of you is a woman wearing next to nothing, clasping some piece of cloth to her. You're not 100% sure what it is because she's very quickly trying to hide herself and trying to dive behind. There's really not a whole lot to hide behind in the room. There's beds, they line the walls. There's, a couple, side tables and stuff like that with drawers, but there's nothing really to hide behind. And then you see her just kind of reach down and pick up something that you can't quite tell what it is, and I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
He's just going to avoid doors for the rest of his life.
Okay. So dex save, right?
Yep.
Okay, 23.
So you duck out of the way as a boot comes flying past, and you hear this very shrill voice. What are you doing? Get out of here! Help! Help!
I'm just like wrong door, and I close the door, and without actually running, I step up the wind, and I'm just fast walking away.
Before you can do that,
Yeah.
Valdis, as he opens the door, you hear the screaming of a feminine voice. Your first instinct is, oh my god, I should save someone. You realize where the screaming is coming from, and you go, shit. And everybody else hears it as well. You hear a thud, and then you start hearing help, help, rape, help, help, and probably 10 guys start rushing up the stairs. So back to you, Altier, as you activate Step of the Wind. Before you can get to either set of stairs, there is a large group of rather refrigerator-shaped men that are coming towards you rather menacingly. I need, very quickly, an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. Okay.
Or rather, it's a grapple check, so if you'd like, you can use your athletics, but I'm
I don't-
thinking you're going to use acrobatics.
Okay, that's a 14.
And just like that, you're on the ground as one of the guys flying tackles you. And a couple more of them kind of dogpile on you. The woman is still screaming. One of the guys kind of sits there. And you can see as you're sitting there fighting to try and get these guys off there, you can see this guy just kind of sitting there going, And then another guy comes over and closes the door and then just kind of smacks him on the head and points at you. And pretty soon they have two guys that have each taken an arm. There's not a ton you can do in this particular situation. Like there's 4 guys on top of you right now, and they've lifted you up and stuff like that. Is there anything that you want to try to attempt?
Let's see. I can't really do anything.
That's fine. Valdis, you see all of this happen. Is there anything you want to do?
Not really, because I know that it's 10-2, and my thought process is, well, there's no sense in having both of us go down for this.
None of them look like they're itching for a fight. They saw someone, they saw a woman screaming for help, they saw a man running away from it, they stopped him. So as of right now, you don't feel that tension in the air of, oh, something bad's about to happen. He's just being held. So still gonna sit back and watch him?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. So
Talking's not my strong suit.
This other guy just kind of comes up to you and goes, "What are you doing to my sister?"
I had this key. I opened the door. She was there. I was about to close the door, and then I got tackled.
Why do you have the key to my sister's room? And he's gotten really, really close. And you can see like veins bulging, and like he does not look like he's particularly pleased about this.
Yeah, I'm just gonna describe that kid that gave Valdis the key, and I'm like, that kid.
You never saw him.
Okay.
And Valdis never described him. So you have no idea what he looks like.
I'm going to describe what Valdis looked like when he was disguised self, and I'm going to be like, that kid gave it to me.
I mean, it's technically the truth.
What you're telling me is some random bloke comes up to you, gives you a key, and your first thought is, hey, let's go into a locked room that's not mine, see what we find. Is that what you're telling me?
He said that I could stay there if I needed to because
So you don't have a room here?
Can
Screw this. Get Bogluck.
I do.
We'll have
I
him deal
do.
with this. And he just stops dealing with you.
Okay.
Valdis, you notice like all the people that were moving stuff on the wagon, everything has stopped to watch this spectacle. People, you're starting to notice money changing hands with certain people, and you're starting to notice people writing things down. If you want, you can roll a perception check to see if you can tell what they're doing.
16.
Their bets are going on. People are making bets about what's going to happen to Altier and how many teeth he's going to have at the end of it.
so everybody heard this
You
guy.
guys heard because you were in the room and you would have had the door closed. They didn't see you doing the ritual. You guys heard a muffled scream and then a lot of movement. However, and because you're in the middle of a ritual, you would have been unable. You either would have had to choose to stop the ritual to find out what was going on, or would have had to ignore it. The rest of you guys, it's up to you what you do.
Can I'll put all of the room everywhere. What's going on for a bit?
And there's a
And
guy.
then,
There's a guy right next to it because there's the people in the room next to you heard the same thing and they came out and this other guy's, oh, you didn't hear, did ya?
no, what's going
This
on?
bloke just broke into a lady's room. Apparently,
And then,
she's the sister of one of the guards. Oh, it's gonna be
can
perfect.
I see out here?
You have to move out a little bit because he's basically on a balcony above you. But yeah, you can see him. You know, you take 10, step out 10 feet. You can see Altier. You can see he's held kind of in a half Nelson kind of thing.
I'm gonna fight my way for the clown.
Make me an athletics check.
Alright. What my
He's a blood hunter. It's probably not horrible.
Yeah. But, 21.
Okay. These are big guys. You are able to kind of fight your way up the stairs, and you get kind of close. But as you're getting closer, you feel a hand on your shoulder kind of push you up against the wall. Not in like a threatening manner, more of just like a get out of my way manner. And as you kind of look down, you see the green skin that you recognize of orcish descent. And Bogluck has just pushed past you. So you are right on. They formed kind of like a semicircle around Altier on this upper deck so that as many people as possible can see. And you are at the very edge of that semicircle with like one row in front of you, so you could very easily duck under an arm or something and get into it if you needed to. But you see Bogluck there. He goes, all right. What's going on here?
I'm gonna ignore them and just try to force my way out here and then to the hell out of it, like, and Jerry, what were you doing?
Okay. Roll me a performance check.
While he's doing that, can I walk over to one of the guys placing the bets and be like, a Goldie gets a tooth knocked out?
He writes it down. He's like, right, I've got you for gold.
That was fun.
So Lillian comes out and goes, Altier, my love, I cannot believe what you have done. You dog, why would you cheat on me in this way? Because I totally love you and we've totally done things together, and it's not me making anything up on the spot because this is totally real. No one seems phased. Bogluck kind of grabs you by kind of the hilt of your leather armor, just kind of tosses you back into the crowd, and goes, "Someone better tell me what the hell is going on before I start breaking things." And he goes up and gets real close to Altier, and you'll be the first one broken.
I quickly tell that guy, make that 2 gold.
Altier, you have a very angry half-orc staring at you. What would you like to do?
This key. It's not in my hand, but it's like somewhere. Kid gave it. I described what Valdis looks like. He knows what Valdis looked like at the time. I'm just like, gave it to me. He said I could stay in the room.
Make me a deception check.
Okay. What's Altier's deception? I know it's not fantastic. Oh, I think with okay. I rolled a 19. It's either a 19 or a 20.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you. He takes the key. He goes, "This isn't yours. You have a room. I've seen you use it." And he kind of grips you by the collar and brings you in really, really close. "Use it again. I don't want to see you until you leave. Do you understand me?"
I do. And then in Thieves Can't I say, do you understand me?
And he throws you backwards really hard. And you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as the back of your head smacks the ground as you hit
Right.
really, really hard. Like you, being a monk, falling is something that you do a lot, and he throws you so hard that you can't cushion the blow at all.
Okay.
And he looks at, "It's over. It's done with. Go back to what you were doing. Dinner's in 10 minutes. You," and he points down to the people loading and unloading the wagon, "finish that up before dinner, or there'll be hell to pay." And he goes back downstairs.
I guess Valdis lost his bet. I didn't lose a tooth.
Yeah, Valdis, the guy kind of turns to you. He's like, "All right, 2 gold."
I'm like, hey, we need confirmation first.
He gives you this incredulous look. "Really? You said knocked out. He's standing up. He's not knocked out. Give me the money."
Fine, I'll give him 2 gold.
"He's doing business with you." And he pockets the 2 gold. You see other people coming up, and a lot of money changes hands. It looks like you found one of the more popular bookies at that particular point. And he walks away looking very pleased with himself.
I go to Valdis and in Halfling, I'm like, that was a dud.
You owe me 2 gold, and I just walk back to the room.
So by the time they get back, like all this happened really, really fast. By the time they get back, Anna, your ritual is done. You see Altier coming in. He's rubbing himself a little bit. You can see some bruises on his arms from where they held him. And you can see Valdis just looking a little bit perturbed.
When they walk in, I have like one of those like anime concentration closed eyes faces with like the vein bulging in the temple. Like, you guys almost made me mess up my concentration. What?
Okay.
What happened to you, Altair? Can I not leave you alone
Room.
for 5 minutes?
The room was a dud. It's someone else's room, so there's probably not any other stuff left. That's why I got thrown.
I just shake my head and I walk out the room. And I'm just going to kind of just casually walk around the loading area, just trying to stay out of everybody's way, and just kind of, look around a little bit, look for any magic, particularly in the locked off room.
Okay.
And the
Valdis, was the ring that you gave him magical in any way, or is it a mundane ring?
I believe it was the ring
It's
that we found in the cave that was technically
Yeah.
part of greenest stuff.
Okay.
yeah,
But it was
it's mundane.
Yeah, it was mundane. So
Yeah.
as you're looking around, you can see the effect of the weave on certain people. You can tell there's certain people that have magical affinities. You can see, because they kind of give off this little bit of a weird kind of glow while detect magic is on. As you kind of scan the room itself, you see a wall.
but no glowy bits behind it.
No glowy bits behind it. Just a wall. I think. Before I tell you for certain, let me just check. I'm pretty sure it's a wall.
Like detect magic has, lag, so you got to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the Wi-Fi in here really sucks, and then, you only have like 2.5 bars, and so...
I like, kind of move a little bit to make sure I can try to boost the signal.
Anna's like jumping up and down, trying to get a better.
Yeah, you see a wall.
Okay. I don't see the door. The door's on.
On the other side of the wall, yeah. Unless you physically want to try and go into, like, the storage room, which would you are relatively certain would turn heads.
Right.
Right now, you're just kind of walking around, and other than the fact that you did kind of get jostled because you walked in front of one of the unloaders, and he just kind of ran into you.
Oh, sorry.
Other than that, no one's really paying much attention to you.
Okay. All right. I'll head back to the room then.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good news. I didn't see any magic over there. So, no magical traps. And no trap magic.
Well, I have a feeling that if we want to do anything, we'll have to wait till it's really late, and possibly sooner than later, because we don't know who's coming for that and when.
Right.
You guys do know you've
definitely.
been here for one day, so
Right.
Yeah.
We should definitely do it tonight. But in the meantime, I think we should go get something to eat. Who's hungry?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll stay in the room.
Are you sure it's a good idea for you to go out there, Altia?
I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'll hang back in the room.
okay. So
Yeah.
as you all kind of get up to go get food, again they do kind of a family, almost like buffet style serving when you get up there, where they have a lot of food, and when you come in, they charge you a silver piece, and then it's 5 copper, anywhere between like 2 to 5 copper depending on the drink that you get. So there are barmaids kind of wandering around giving people drinks and stuff like that, and that, but the food is just kind of a lump. They decided not to do anything really, really fancy.
All right. I grab a plate of food and 2 drinks, and I start looking for Colin.
Make me a perception check.
Ooh. Ooh, 15.
Looking around, you don't see him.
Well, they're
And I'm guessing I don't see any of his friends. I probably wouldn't recognize his friends.
He's introduced you, like he made mention of you, and you saw him eating with them. You don't see any of them yet, but literally dinner just started.
Okay.
Um,
I'll
so
I'll
depending
find a
on where
spot.
he was working, it's possible that he was just further away, and it will take him longer to get in.
Okay, I'll find a spot with the good kind of view of who's coming in and just keep an eye out for him.
Okay, not too difficult.
while they're eating, and since I'm still in the room, with the door closed, I want to cast locate object.
Okay. As you sit there and focus, it's 1,000 feet that you can detect it, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And you did it this morning. Yeah, it is in the room. It doesn't seem to have moved since you put it in there.
Okay. But I was just worried about, like, we're just here for nothing.
Makes sense. Ollie, Bryn, Lillian, you guys all going up for food too?
I'm staying in the room with Aldous.
Okay.
I'm getting food.
Okay. Lillian?
I get food.
All right. You guys have no trouble getting food. There's hot cuts of meat. You're not exactly sure what it is. It's red meat, so there's bread, and then plenty of ale and stuff like that. Altier, as you come up, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
I figured. 18.
So as you're coming up and you start putting food onto your plate, you feel something by your ankle and you start to lurch forward. You very quickly steady yourself and steady your food without spilling anything. And you see one of the guys that was in the group that kind of took you down there. And he kind of looks at you and does this, "Oh, sorry about that, mate. Didn't see you there." And
I raise an eyebrow at him, and as I'm walking away, I just do a little divine augment, and he hears like a crow of a raven in the back of his head.
okay. So as you turn around, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. Oh boy.
This is going to be much more about how quickly you notice rather than how quickly you react.
7.
7. Yeah. So as you turn and start moving away, you don't notice that you are literally turning right into another person who knocks your tray, your plate of food to the floor and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that, mate. Here, let me get that for you." And he picks up the meat, kind of rubs it on the floor, puts it back on the plate, picks up the bread, kind of squishes it, puts it back on the plate, shoves it there, and goes, "There you go, mate. I'm sure you've had such a good time today, seeing things you're not supposed to see. You won't even notice a little bits of stuff on there, will ya?" And then he just kind of bumps into your shoulder and goes past.
All right.
Nothing nefarious, just kind of like high school prank type things.
Screw it. I'm just gonna go into my pack, pull out rations, and eat with my friends.
Okay. So you drop the food that you've already paid for.
Yeah.
Go to your friends and start eating your iron rations. And as you're sitting there, you guys are all kind of chilling and sitting. I'd like everyone to make me. What's your passive perceptions, everybody? Start with Altier.
Passive perception. Oh crap! Need to go to skills. I believe it's 18.
Damn, Ollie, or you're not there. Anna,
17.
Bryn,
15, I think.
Okay, Leanne.
12, I think.
So really, everybody but Lillian notices a woman in kind of a plain, uh, very functional, like dress-ish thing. Kind of like you would expect maybe like a female guard or something to wear when they're off duty. Nothing incredibly feminine, um, but functional. And she's making a beeline for Altier.
I
Altier,
just
as you're
lean
eating,
over to
you
Al-
just watch her coming straight for you.
Yeah. I'm just mid-bite of my iron rations.
And
Like, oh boy, what's going on
I
now?
just lean over to Altier and say, "I'm not saving you again. You're on your own this time. I told you to stay in the room."
so she comes over.
Uh-huh.
She rolls a nat 20.
Okay. I expected this. Oh god.
You take 10 bludgeoning damage as this girl comes over and slaps you harder than you've ever been slapped before. Hard enough that your iron rations spill onto the floor. She goes, "Pig!" and then walks off.
I just yell out, "Damn!"
She'd make a good monk.
Like
I
you're
start
like
slow clapping.
your jaw clicks a little bit from where she hit you. You start feeling around because you taste blood. You realize she slapped you hard enough that one of your teeth made a tiny cut on your cheek. Like this was like a massive slap.
Thought you were gonna say lost a tooth. I would have found that bookie.
No, it kind of takes a closed fist to knock a tooth out. Slap
You
is just
can't go for out.
the forces distribute over too wide an area. And your face, like you guys can see, Altier's face is bright red. You can almost get her fingerprints out of it. And Altier, your face is on fire.
As I'm realigning my jaw, can I try and Fists of Life myself?
Sure.
Alright. I have to hit my AC. Cocked. Yeah, I hit my AC. So I heal with my D4. I heal 7. It's not all gone, but
So you guys watch as Altier makes some movements with his hands and touches some places on his face, and then just very gingerly goes. And you see some of the redness fades, but there is still very distinct finger lines, and you get the idea that you're probably going to have that mark for at least a couple hours.
yeah.
Are there any bronze braziers in the room?
In the room? No. You're remarkably bronze braziers, not a big fixtures in like
Hey,
work camps.
I figured I would ask because I need another familiar to die. So
Yeah, you unfortunately do not have access to a bronze brazier. That would be something that temples will almost always have something that will work for that. And big cities, you can find it. Most cities, you can find it. But this is just a little work camp and roadside inn type thing. There's no need for it.
in the entire time that they're not in the room, I'm just going to be writing in that empty book about the stuff that happened to Altier.
Dear diary, Altier
Hey.
saw a naked lady.
I just kind
In
of
my cipher, of course, so I'm the only one who can read it.
I just kind of lean over to Ed and I'm just like, why does all this shit happen to me?
I'm Well, did you think to knock on the door to see if there was anybody in there first?
I thought it was empty.
Well, you did have it coming, though.
Why?
I mean, maybe the rubbing of the food was a bit much, but that slap was pretty good.
Yeah.
Bryn and Lillian, roll me perception checks.
Oh, 14.
Okay.
Was Lillian supposed to roll as well?
Yeah.
11.
11. Okay. So Lillian, you after the slap, you're just kind of snickering to yourself as you finish your food. Bryn, on the other hand, you kind of look around and you see money changing hands again.
I get up and start wandering towards some of those people that were exchanging money.
Okay.
And I say to somebody, like, how do I get in on this one?
They just kind of look at you and go, "Don't know what you're talking about, love," but and they kind of like nudge each other. If you'd like to get on something, I have quite a few ideas. And they kind of chuckle between each other, thinking that they're clever.
Uh-huh. All right. 5 on the chick. B, work on your pickup lines.
And they kind of look, sorry, bitch, and they go back to their food.
I just say proud of it and walk away.
So the rest of dinner, Altier, you can feel eyeballs on you the entire night. You hear, you actually hear your name come up a couple of times, but you can't really tell. Like you kind of pick up the name Altier every so often. You see the woman just keeps staring daggers at you every so often. And yeah, there's an entire table of guards that just keeps looking at you, and then talking to each other, laughing a little bit, and then looking at you menacingly, and then laughing a little bit. About 20 minutes pass, and you see people start getting up and leaving. The guys that were messing with Altier all happen to accidentally bump into him as they pass. The woman walks past, stops, turns around, does one of these, and then walks out.
Wait, I kind of call out to her as she leaves. I'm like, wait, just. And I take one of the ales that I have and just pour it over his head.
Why am I friends with you?
And she kind of she looks at it, and you can see her kind of stifle a giggle for a bit, and then you roll an insight check.
I just look at her and I go, power to the women.
Where's my insight? Ooh, 14.
So you can see her like giggle a little bit, and then like the thought process you glean from her facial expression is, no, I'm mad right now. So she's and then walks out. Altier, you are now wet, mostly hungry because every time you attempted to eat food, it kept getting falling on the floor. And the floor, as much as they cleaned it before dinner started, by 5 minutes in, muddy boots and stuff like that. Like nothing that hits the floor is something you want to eat.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit hungry.
I'm
Your
just going
shoulders are
to.
sore from being repeatedly run into. Your cheek is still sore from the slap. You have just not had a good night.
I'm going to wait till everybody's just in their rooms, and then
No,
not.
as they go out, more people come in.
Okay.
Because again, dinner
Um,
lasts for like an hour and a half. So, because people come back, like the work crews come back at different times depending on how far away they are. So, if you want to sit there the entire time, the people that seem to have the biggest issue with you have all left by now.
Yeah, as soon as they're gone, I just sigh and I pull out another can of iron rations.
So yeah, basically, it's beef jerky and hardtack. Basically, is iron
Yeah.
rations.
Hmm.
So you're sitting there chewing on your beef jerky, or salted fish, or whatever it is.
I'm sorry, Altier. I just couldn't help myself, and I wanted to make sure that we don't have any more unpleasantness like we did this afternoon.
They're just guards. They're not trying to kill me. It doesn't really faze me at this point.
I know. Well, hopefully it might save you another one less slap. As people are coming in, I'm keeping my eye out for Colin.
Speaking about that slap, she'd make a damn good monk.
And roll me another perception check.
17.
Watching over the next like 20, 30 minutes, still no Colin. Or
I just
any of the people that you saw him go out with.
I just put my elbows on the table and my hand, my chin on my wrists, and just kind of keep looking off.
So you guys notice that Anna looks like she's waiting for someone. Bryn, Lilianne, Altier, are you guys going to stay there with Anna, or are you going to go head back to the room? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna stay with Anna, just people watching.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna head to the room so Valdis can prestidigitation all this beer off of me.
Okay.
Was that all I'm
So-
good for? Is dry cleaning?
You're so good at it. So Altier comes in. He smells very, very strongly of alcohol, so you immediately think he's drunk. But he's not like his eyes focus the way that they're supposed to. He doesn't look drunk. And then you notice his face is red on one side. And you notice the outline of what looks like fingers on his face. And you kind of put two and two together because earlier you heard a bit of a commotion and a very sharp sound of skin striking skin. The slap was loud enough that everybody heard it.
I could have gone in
And a
on
nat
that.
20.
Looks like somebody got what they deserved.
So yeah,
I
both
did-
you and both Aldous or Valdis and Ollie just combine you guys. You've been shipped. You're now Aldous.
Oh no. No.
So both Valdis and Ollie, you guys both, it kind of clicks at the same time what happened. What would you like to do?
Well, I'll be upset that I missed out on a chance to win some gold back. Like,
The
what
slap,
happened?
the slap was the woman. She has a very good right hook. The beer was Enna, and why? I don't know.
Oh well.
If Anna did it, you probably had it coming, maybe.
No, I was just eating.
Well, don't piss off Anna.
I don't know how Enna thinks. One day I'm coming out of the forest and she picks me up and hugs me. The next day she pours a beer over my head for no reason. What's going on?
Do I see the bruises on his arm?
Yeah, they'd be relatively noticeable. Nothing like significant, but obvious. What's your background again, Ollie?
I mean, hermit.
To be perfectly honest, you see some discoloration, but due to your kind of lack of knowledge in this particular field, if you want to roll a medicine check, you might be able to figure out exactly what caused it. But you can see some slight discoloration in his arms.
But I see the fingerprints on the face, or the imprint on the face.
That's obvious.
All right. I'll ask. Do you need any help, Altier?
I mean, I'm not at 100%. I'll be fine, but things hurt right now.
That's why I ask.
I will prestidigitation because the smell is probably bothering Baldus at this point.
I'll just throw one little healing word at him.
Okay. So Valdus cleans your garments and everything like that. You feel kind of just
7.
the ickiness of walking around in beer-soaked clothing just kind of go away. Anna Bryn and Lillian, half an hour passes without anything really changing. So in that half an hour, Altier, Ollie, Valdus, is there anything you guys want to do?
I want to be sitting around next to my book, and I'm going to just keep druid crafting random plants to see if they're edible.
Okay. In general, you would need, like, to create them from thin air using druid craft would be kind of difficult, a little bit beyond what a cantrip would be able to do.
Okay.
You can make plants grow, or make small little maybe a wreath of stuff. But as far as like going through a lot of different plants, you probably wouldn't be able to do that. Maybe a few plants that you've seen before, you can make kind of a few sprigs spontaneously grow. But you would need something for them. Beyond that, you would need something for them to grow out of.
All right. So, Altier, what do we even want to do with that room? The ring is still there.
At this point, I see two options. We can sneak in there and see if it leads anywhere, but that may attract Bogluck's attention, and both of us have done that so far.
He doesn't know me. He knows
Yeah.
the other me.
Or we could wait. I mean, we've only been here a day.
That's true. I could always make you invisible if that's the issue.
It's not much of a disguise either, but I can do something like this. And it's nowhere on Valdus's level, but my eyes are normally green. I make a few motions and I turn them gold.
Pretend I don't even notice. Like, what'd you do?
Damn it.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I learned that when I was 3.
I've had these powers for a week, damn it. No longer than that, but but yeah, those are the two things that we either wait, see if something else happens, or we sneak in.
All
right, so you guys kind of have this conversation. Anna, go ahead and make me another perception check.
Ooh, 20.
So looking around, you see a couple of the guys that went out with Colin. In the morning, you start recognizing a few faces, and within about 10 minutes, you see Colin kind of walk through the door, make a beeline for the food, and pile his plate up high, to the point where it almost looks a little bit dangerous. And then he picks up 2 very large flagons of ale and starts looking for his friends to go sit down.
Okay, I'll kind of keep an eye on him, and then I want to flag down the nearest barmaid.
Mm-hmm. And it takes you a good 5 minutes because they're running around and stuff like that. So finally one comes over. Aye, what you want?
Can I get 2 shots, please?
What?
Of some 2 shots of strong liquor.
Fine. And she goes and she comes back with an unlabeled bottle. The top is broken and has a cork shoved in it. She pours 2 very small glasses, puts it in front of you. I mean, 2 gold.
I say thank you very much, hand her the gold,
Then she walks off.
and then I take the 2 shots and I go over to Colin.
Colin. Remind me who Colin is, because it's been like 3 months since I actually played this character.
He's a worker. He's
Specifically,
kind
what does he sound like? That's all I need.
Oh.
Do you remember?
I want to say like a smarter version of that dumb stable boy.
Slightly cockney.
Okay.
He has a fondness of Anna.
Yeah, so he comes over. Hey, look, it's a pretty lady coming back. Are you? And he kind of pulls you in kind of a side hug, almost spilling the shots. Then he realized, hey, now one of those wouldn't happen to be for me now, would it?
It is. This is for your help this morning. I
And he
appreciate
takes
the
it,
effort.
downs it, and then you watch him go, and he starts banging on the table, bangs on his chest. That wasn't the good stuff.
I take it. I down my shot as well.
Roll me a Constitution save.
Natural 20.
It burns, but you're able, it burns bad. Like, this is, not only is this, like, not really high quality booze, you're relatively certain that the booze itself has probably gone a little bit sour. And so it burns all the way down. When it gets into your stomach, it doesn't set right. But it is definitely alcoholic. However, you sit there, you down it, fight off the feeling of coughing and everything, and just go, ah. And you're able to show very little. And he's like, see, I like me a lady that can hold the liquor. And he kind of just pulls you down onto basically half of his lap, because he's kind of turned himself out as he's eating. So what can I do with the most gorgeous piece of ass on this side of Neverwinter?
Well, you could buy me a drink.
Done. And he takes one of the flagons of ale and just kind of puts it in front of you. So I met this lovely lady, and you start feeling his hand slowly drift further down. Met this lovely lady this morning. We had a great conversation, and slowly moving lower and lower. And we just kind of.
Did you hear about the woman I killed today? And then I just start drinking.
And as that happens, the hand stops. It's right on, like, the small of your back at this point. Not to the point where it would be inappropriate yet, but it was getting there. And as soon as she said it, it just stops. And he goes, hold on a second. And he turns to you and he's like, and he kind of turns himself away and he's like, maybe we should talk about, because we don't normally kill people in our line of work. What the hell did you do?
I had chugged the beer and I finish it, set it down,
It's
and say,
weak beer.
yeah. Well, she threatened one of my friends. I don't take kindly to people threatening my friends. Challenged him to a duel to the death. Said that she needed a price to be paid in blood. So, since my friend has recently taken a vow not to kill anyone, I stepped in for him, and, well, she got a payment in blood.
You're a crazy bitch, you know that? Wow, so lad, she's got some fire to her. We
I take this moment. I use druidcraft to make like the sound of a small animal growling, and I just kind of like, and then I just like play bite at his cheek.
He's like, see, my lady knows how to defend herself. Not only how to defend herself, she can take you lot out. In fact, I'd say my lady here can take out any one of you right now. If that's what you want. And the other guys, like, you can see that they're really enjoying this whole conversation. You see a couple of them was like, no, I could take her. Oh, I could totally take. And then, like, the biggest guy, sitting there who has not said a thing at all, just looks over and goes, fucked if I know. I wouldn't touch her. And then goes back to his food. And the rest of the guys
Smart man.
burst out laughing. As he's like, whoa. I understood. She made fire out of her hand. Cut a bitch with it. She's dangerous. It's what I'm saying. I'm not touching her. You can have her, Colin. I don't want her. And for the next, 10 minutes, you guys kind of exchange pleasantries and overall just kind of have a good time hanging out. Like, they seem like a very relaxed bunch. You can tell that they're all very, very tired. Whatever it was that they did was physically exhausting. They're covered in sweat. Colin himself, since you're basically sitting on his lap, smells very, very strongly. It's obvious he's been working all day. Yeah. Anything else you want to do?
After that, I'll just kind of like put my arms back and say, oh, it's getting late. I should probably get back to my friends.
Oh, you know
thank
what
you.
I should do? And you see like this look on Colin's face. I should, you've had a lot of drink. It wouldn't be proper if I didn't walk you back to your room. I was at something. The other guys are going, yeah, back to your room, right? Maybe we should get a sort of put on the door, right? And they're all going, and he's like, shut up, guys. He's like, no, let me, you look a little, unstable. I'll walk you back to your room.
That's very kind of you. This is a dangerous place. I hear somebody walked in on a woman changing earlier. Frightful.
Really? I've been hearing,
Yes.
we heard something. Apparently she came in and slapped the bugger.
Yes.
Wish I could
And
have been here to see that.
I just wrap my arm around his and let him lead me back downstairs.
And so as he kind of takes you, and he's you notice that he's engaging you in conversation purposefully. Like anytime there's a little bit of a dull moment, he's or like a lapse in conversation, he's adding more to the conversation, and eventually you arrive at a room, about 4 doors down from your room, and he goes, "Oh, my mistake.
Oh,
It's muscle memory is what it is. I'm so used to going to this room, and your room is down there."
right.
So,
Well,
and he starts he starts rubbing the back of his neck, and he's like, but if you want to, if you're tired, you want to sit down for just a little bit, you could come. You could come.
No,
in
that's-
and,
that's quite all right. You're very sweet, but I
and
really
as
should
you
get back
say
to my
that,
friends.
you just watch his entire face just kind of drop.
Hmm.
He's like, "Oh no, I totally, I understand because you have your
thank you.
friends and you're probably one of them is probably very close and
And I just say I just like reach in and kiss him.
and he shuts up immediately.
And then
After it, he kind of steps back. He's like, I'll see you tomorrow. And he goes into his room.
Yep. And then I walk back to our room with a little bit of a spring in my step.
Valdis, Ollie, and Altier, about an hour has passed since you last saw Anna. You see her coming in, and she looks very pleased with herself.
I just kind of raise my eyebrow, go back to meditating, don't say a word.
Bryn, Lillian, you guys actually saw Anna walk out with this guy. Did you guys want to do anything as they walked out, or did you want to stay in the bar?
I'm still just watching the people around.
Okay, make me an insight check.
Well, that was a natural one. I'm not even going to add anything.
So yeah, just looking around. They seem like people.
Cool. I was worried, you know. Maybe they were aliens.
No
I don't
lizard
know.
men here.
Damn.
Shit, that's a real thing in D&D. I was totally
Yeah.
thinking of like V. No,
Yeah.
lizard men exist.
I'm pretty sure we fought some.
Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase that. No little green men.
Oh, good to know. Thank
I
you.
mean, goblins exist too, Jody. Man.
You know what? I'm sensing a lot of disadvantage in your future. So yeah, you kind of watch for the rest of the night. Nothing really piques your interest.
I'll
And
eventually get bored and go to bed. Eventually.
yeah, like I said, dinner lasts for about an hour and a half. So at the end of that, people are trickling out. The barmaids are cleaning up the rest of it. Most of the food at this point is gone. The bread is so stale that it's not even worth attempting to eat. The food has long since lost the heat, and it's now just kind of there. And you guys start, like, some of the barmaids start encouraging, like, if you've ever been in a restaurant when it's about to close or after it's closed, where the wait staff can't technically kick you out, but they kind of encourage you to leave. You're getting that vibe. So what do you guys want to do?
I go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, what, Lillian?
I probably went up for maybe 5-10 minutes after and
Okay. So, Lillian, to be honest, Lillian, right as you got to the bottom of the steps, you would have seen Anna kissing Colin and then walking back to the room. And you would have gotten in shortly after Anna got there. And then Bryn joins you guys probably about half an hour later. So you're now all back in the room. You all notice that Anna just seems particularly pleased with herself.
Okay,
All right.
Altia. I think we need to
as soon as
plan.
I see Bryn come
I have an
back,
excellent idea.
I'm just chilling because I don't have anything to do. Maybe I'm sketching a map, but it's
And I'm
just what
sorry
I've drawn
for
before. Keep myself
pouring
in
the beer
practice.
on your head, but
Oh,
I think it planted a
so
good.
What are we
One
doing?
second.
All right,
You guys are
hold on.
talking over each other.
Altier, can you
Pardon?
hear Anna talking?
Oh no, I can't.
I cannot.
Both you guys refresh real quick
Yep.
because Roll20 always works 100% of the time. Roll20, if you'd like to sponsor this Twitch show.
I am back.
Okay. I'm just going to give Altier a couple seconds. All right, Altier, say something.
Hello,
Anna, say something.
Hello, I can hear Altier.
I can hear you.
Cool. All right. You guys were talking over each other. I'm like, is this just like a bit? Am I missing
I
something?
thought I was the only one for a second.
Sorry.
Well, I've seen players talk over each other, but normally after about like 5 seconds, one of them realizes the other one's not going to stop talking. That didn't happen. They just kept going. I'm like, this is cool. Anyway, so start again. Bryn's back. What do you
And
guys
I
wanna do?
go. And I go.
So, Altia, I think we need to plan out our next moves. I believe I may have set in motion a good alibi if we get caught out there. We can just pretend to have a spat. Maybe there's something between us. I was very upset with you. That's why you were trying to stay in a different room. Something.
All right.
That's why I poured the beer. I'm sorry about that. I got a little caught up.
No, it's okay. I mean, I've kind of gotten used to people trying to kill us over the past 2 months. This is a nice change of pace to that.
That's true.
So
Have-
what are you planning?
Well, I think we should try sneaking in there tonight and maybe steal some of their hoard, as it were,
Why'd they steal it, though? That's my question.
to frame Bald Luck.
But I don't know. All we're doing here is we're trying to figure out where it's going next.
Well, I mean, if we create some... Oh, what's the word I'm thinking of?
I think Enna's trying to say that she wants to speed it up. Essentially, like if they get word that someone's stealing their treasure, they may show up sooner rather than us waiting for them.
Right.
I'm only worried
Plus-
that it might get funneled out without ever us seeing it come out.
That could be true,
Which
too.
is another reason to go in there, so that way if there's a secret passageway, we would know. Obviously, not all of us would go in, but
Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I shouldn't go on any stealth missions. I was just gonna sit here.
I can make 2 people invisible at most for
And
an hour.
And I can become a spider. I have a feeling spiders would be very stealthy in here.
And I'm not the stealthiest person alive, so I would refrain from going.
I mean, I'm up for the job. It just sounds dangerous. But, this whole thing is.
Well, come on, doesn't it? I mean, after that fight this morning, I could. This sounds like a good idea. I just feel wired,
And,
Hey, Anna?
I feel like I could take on a dragon right now.
Hey, Anna, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you open your mouth for a second? I want to check for fangs. Weird.
I mean, if you want to be fangs, I can turn into a bear. Bears have fangs. Wolves have fangs. And I just start salivating a little.
what are we going to... I look at Valdis and in Halfling, I'm just like, what are we going to do with her?
And in Halfling, I'll say, make sure you have lots of wooden stakes.
Okay. I mean, we're gonna have to wait until people go to bed, but if you want to do that tonight, I'm up for it.
Jody, do we know what time, roughly they usually get up to start working in the morning? I know it's pretty early.
4 a.m. is when the first group of people starts. Like the first round of breakfast is at 4:30 ish, and people are already moving around at about 4 a.m. They're the last people to leave at 6 a.m.
Okay. What time would it be about now?
After dinner, you guys are probably looking at 10-ish, because you've been talking for a little while. conversing. So like 10, 11 o'clock. Most of the place is asleep at this point. The wagon unloaders finished hours ago. Like they had the final wagon loaded before the first part of dinner started. So,
Okay, so if we want to investigate that room, if we start a little earlier, like right about now, you could go there and back within a few trips with what I have left of being invisible. So if you wanted to go now, Altier, I could make you invisible. You'd have an hour to get back, and if you wanted to go back, I can make you invisible again, is what I'm saying, before people start waking up.
I wouldn't be going alone, and it would be like a spider in my pocket or something, but...
Would that be like a floating spider then?
I imagine since it's in like my pocket, it's in the invisible space. I don't know how that would work.
theoretically, it's only things that you're wearing.
Okay.
I mean, just to be safe, I could make both of you invisible.
I would say it would make a lot more sense for Anna to crawl. Or let me put it this way. She would be significantly less noticeable crawling along the ground than she would kind of floating through space.
Yeah. You just might want to be careful, Anna, because if you turn into a spider in here, someone might be tempted to squash you.
Right.
Spiders can fly. Like, it's not impossible. They, like, sail using their silk, but generally they
would
can
be
do
odd.
that indoors. Nor do they move against the wind or when there's no wind around. That would be terrifying. Flying spiders? Man, that's nightmare fuel right there.
I can't like Spider-Man my way across the room.
I mean,
No.
Remarkably enough, Spider-Man, like, spiders don't do that.
alright, I'd say we do this plan though.
Okay, but do we want to do it now? Or do we want to wait a little bit? Make sure everybody's
Right
gone
now,
to sleep.
you do know, with it being like 11-ish, I think that's what I said, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still a few people awake.
Right.
You know how to
Not a
wait?
ton, but there are a few people awake. You might see one or two people like wandering around, maybe going back to the bar for a nightcap or something like that. But
You want to give it an hour, Anna?
I say
Yeah,
we give it an hour.
maybe an hour.
okay. I got to look in here.
Suddenly, red dragon attacks. No, I'm kidding.
The whole hotel becomes a mimic.
I laugh, you laugh, the bed laughs, we kill the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh, that way, could do better to
Oh, the bed could have some interesting stories.
That would be frightening.
I don't know that I want to hear those stories.
That'd be frightening. A mimic shaped like a bed so that you try and sleep on it.
Don't give Jody ideas. Hush.
I don't know. With the problem we have with doors.
Doors are
There's
the
a
number
lot more
one
doors in
enemy.
this hallway than I remember coming in.
That's why whenever you create a stronghold, you make as many doors as possible.
Just had to figure out how this is going to work.
Okay.
All right, so what are you guys doing?
They wanted to wait an hour, and then I make them invisible, and they go.
All right.
Who's out going?
And then
Does
Altier.
anybody else want to go with us?
So, Valdis, you do know we're talking now, what, 5 or 6 hours since you cast your locate object?
Yeah, I was going to do another one before they left.
Okay. So you guys watch as Valdis makes some incantations and Altier and Anna vanish from sight.
No, not invisible. Before they go invisible, I wanted to locate
Oh,
objects.
okay. So you watch as he makes some incantations, and you focus on the item, and you can't find it.
Mm.
It's not within 1,000 feet, so it's already moved.
That's what I was fearing. Looks like we're gonna have to move, and it might not just be us.
When I was talking, when Boglook had me slammed against the wall,
Mhm.
I remember he mentioned some fortress, but I can't remember what direction.
I believe you said it was Castle Niratar.
Near Tar. Okay.
Yeah.
Would I remember what direction that was? I can't remember what he said.
Roll a history check. I don't think he actually set a direction,
Okay. Oh,
or if he did, he wasn't supposed to.
that's 29.
29. So Castle Nirtar. With a 29, where are you from again? You're from Waterdeep, right?
Yeah.
So you may actually have a book about this in your personal library. Castle Nirtar was a stone castle that was the home of a half-elf wizard, but he abandoned it long ago when the swamp claimed the area. And then, and we're talking decades, if not centuries ago, that this was abandoned. For a little while, there was a group of astrologers called the Academy of Stargazers that took over the structure, but they vanished mysteriously after a few years, and nobody has any idea what happened. So you've heard the name before, and you know that it's in ruins, and that it's, I believe it's in the Mare of Dead Men.
So it'd be backtracking.
Well, technically no, because you guys basically
Oh, that's right.
you guys came north, and then between Waterdeep and who's you? What's it? Between Waterdeep and Neverwinter, you have the Mare of Dead Men, and the map I have that you guys can look at is a really old 3rd edition map. The Mare of Dead Men is much bigger than the map shows, if I remember correctly. And you guys actually stopped like just before the Mare of Dead Men. So technically, the Mare of Dead Men is between you and Neverwinter right now.
Alright.
All right. So I suggest we start heading that way as soon as possible, because if it's within 10 minutes, if I get a hit, we know where at least we're going in the right direction.
You know of the castle, like you're familiar with the story. You've got no idea where it is.
Yeah.
Like it's been ruined for so long, and the mare is so large that without some way to figure out where it without something to point you in the right direction, you would have very little chance of discovering it by accident. Like it wasn't like this big, massive castle that you could see from miles away. Like it was a small keep.
Valdis, you said the coin's gone, right? But it was there 5 hours ago?
Yeah, the ring, not the coin, but yeah.
The ring, sorry. Sorry, I must have taken an extra hit to the head. Nobody's taken anything out of that room in the last 5 hours, have they?
Which makes me think there is another passage in there.
That's what I was thinking.
So I think you guys should go scout it out now, and then we just be prepared to move within the next hour.
Alright.
Okay, you guys.
I think avoid going spider for now, and I can just make both of you invisible so you can get there quicker, and then you can just go spider when you're there if need be.
Okay.
Bryn, did you want to come with? You look antsy.
I look what?
Antsy.
If y'all need me to go, I will go.
I can only
I
make
might-
2 people invisible, so if 3 people go, then Edna will have to go spider now.
Well, then y'all go scout, report back.
All right.
All right.
So you guys do that, and I'll just kind of chill back here,
All right.
resting, I guess, while I'm waiting.
So Valdis again conjures and Enna and Altier vanish from sight.
Okay.
I'd like stealth checks from the both of you with advantage.
Okay.
I'll stand by the door when they open it, so if someone actually sees the door open, they'll see me there, and I'll just quickly close it so they just don't see a door open and close.
Anna, you
These
go
are smart
first.
enough to snuff
Thank
out
God for
candles out.
advantage. 17.
Okay, Altier.
30.
So Altier goes to the ethereal plane. Enna's just real quiet. You guys have no problem getting to the storeroom. You find the little locked room in the back, and the door is locked.
Okay, I'm just gonna silently see if it's trapped.
Okay, make me an investigation check.
Come on, crit roll die. Oh, that's pretty good. 20 total.
So looking at it, you don't see anything connected to the locking mechanism. You can't be 100% sure, but there's nothing that you see on this side of the door that could cause you any harm.
Alright. And I can't really see me, so I'm just gonna try and pick it, and she probably sees me. She probably sees the block being messed with, so if she doesn't think I should be doing this, she'll tell me. I hope. Anyway.
This was regular invisibility, right?
Yeah.
So when you interact with an object, I believe that takes you out.
Would it?
I'm going to look at the spell real quick, but I'm pretty sure greater invisibility is the one that you can do just about anything, and you just keep it until it...
It says when the spell ends for the target when they attack or cast a spell.
attack or cast spell. Okay. So if we are going to say is it doesn't make you visible.
What?
So, yeah, you're going to try and use Thieves' Tools then?
Yeah.
Make me a Thieves' Tools check.
19. No, actually, that's a 23. There we go.
So you're sitting there and you hear click. You think the door's open.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like wait.
I'm going to step
see
back
if
a little
Anna
bit
does it.
and keep an eye out.
Okay.
As you open the door, you hear movement and things from the other side of the door. You see these creatures standing there, and as the door starts to open, they all look at you. Then you hear
Do I look?
The creatures themselves are large reptilian creatures with lizard-like features, but are humanoid, carrying weapons. You can see they have some boxes, but there's nowhere near as many boxes as you guys remember being there. You can see them sitting there going. One of them comes over and just pushes the door open. I'd like you to make me a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage.
16.
All right, so as he comes over and he pushes the door open, you leap out of the way as quickly as you can, and he opens it up, and you can see a total of 9 lizard men standing there trying to figure out what's going on. They're like, and they're looking around. Then they close the door, and you hear it lock again.
Just from when they were having the door open and like looking around to see if there was anything out here, could I have like looked at the room to see if there was like a back exit or a trap door that might have been open?
Make me a perception check.
Okay. I think my modifier is good for that. Perception 15.
Um, there wasn't a lot of time for you to get a lay of the room. You did notice that there's not enough boxes in there to account for all the stuff that went in there. You only saw like maybe one or two boxes, and that's it. Otherwise, it looked like a storeroom. But you were so focused on diving out of the way so that the door didn't hit you,
Okay.
that you didn't really see anything else. And then the lizard man was standing in your way. So
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of look up, or I'm going to move back to the door
Mhm.
and see if there's like a crack or like a small gap that a spider could fit through, or under or over the door.
um, the door itself, because it's designed to be um, a locked room, the door itself is well fitted, and even the bottom crack where you would normally be able to crawl under um, is fitted in a way that you'd need to be smaller than a spider to get into it that particular way.
Hmm.
Again, this particular room is designed to not really be airtight, but to be very very closed off. So
Hmm. I will just put my ear next to the door and listen for sounds of movement
okay, make me a perception check with disadvantage.
with disadvantage.
Yeah, because you're listening through a door, and the door itself it's got some weight to it.
2 12s, so 19.
Listening, you hear movement. How long do you want to listen for?
I'm listening for them to stop.
Okay. It takes probably another 10, 15 minutes and then nothing. No movement, no sound, nothing.
Altair, are you still there?
Yes.
I think they left, or they're being very quiet now.
Just so you guys know, you can stage whisper so the audience can actually hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Try picking the lock again.
Okay. Here goes nothing. uh, what's my thing? 15.
Hold, please.
Okay.
Too many books.
Too many books.
Remember,
Too many books.
I got so many.
Most of my rogues are so bad at picking locks, I forget Altier's good at it.
Not smart enough. You hear a click.
It worked again?
Yep. You think you're not 100% sure, but it clicked the same way that it did the last time.
Okay, I just kind of go, and I just ever so slightly crack it.
Looks very similar to what it was before, but nothing's in there.
Okay, I'm gonna open it.
Okay.
So and just before we walk in on the other side, I'm just gonna make sure they didn't trap it when they left.
Okay. Roll an investigation check.
16.
You don't see anything that jumps out as dangerous.
All right. Since I heard Emma there, I'm just gonna tug on the side of her leg clothes and then walk in.
Okay, Anna, he grabs your knee.
Hey! Oh, sorry. Okay, so there must be a door or a hidden passage in here.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I was thinking.
When it's getting close to the hour for the invisibility to go up, I'm going to tell everyone that we should probably go see if they're alive.
At this point, it's only been about like 25 minutes.
Okay.
So-
I'll wait till it's about like 59 minutes, and if we don't see or hear from them, then I'll just tell everyone so we can head out.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if there's a doorway or a passageway that they might have gone through.
I'm gonna help him look. I'm gonna look around as well.
Are you gonna help me or make your own roll?
I make my own roll.
Okay.
Make me perception checks.
Okay. 16 for me.
Okay.
Natural 20 for 27.
Wow. All right, so you guys are looking through, and the weird thing about this, nothing seems out of place. Other than the fact that there's nothing here, and you know for a fact that there was a ton of boxes in here, and lizard men just a few minutes ago. Nothing's out of place. You can see things, you can see shells on the wall, you can see valuables on the wall too. You see the ledger that Bogluck keeps is in here as well. And as you guys just kind of look around the room, nothing seems out of place. There's a few casks and things like that in here. There's a couple boxes in here. And Anna, as you're looking around, in the far southwest corner, there's a crate, and something about it just seems weird. And so as you kind of go over to it, and you push it a little bit, you realize that the crate itself doesn't move. Like you try and pull and push it, it doesn't move at all. And even if this was an incredibly heavy crate, you would feel some budge or something to it. But this, it's like it's affixed to something.
Altia, I can't quite move this crate. It's like it's bolted down or something.
Can I see? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just gonna examine it, see if I can find any weird mechanism on it.
As you look at it, it's pressed up against the wall, so without moving it, you can't really examine. Like it's flush against the wall in the corner on two sides. It's just trying to slide it in any direction. It doesn't move. Almost as if it's like bolted to the ground or something like that.
Can we open it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I
As you
try to
sit
open
there
it.
and you try and open it, the whole thing tips towards you. And you notice that it's attached to a trap door and a tunnel that leads down.
Mm.
And you hear, as you open it up, you hear motion and yelling in a language that you've never, or not yelling, but kind of talking and things like that in a language you don't recognize.
Very carefully close it back.
Okay.
All right. Well, do we want to give them a minute to clear out and then follow them in, or should we get the others first?
I want the others.
Okay. Okay, so we should head back to the others. On our way out, I'm going to grab the ledger and stick it in my bag of holding.
Okay.
I
guys,
close the door. Yeah.
Everybody in the room, eventually you watch the door open and close without anyone touching it.
Hey Ollie, I think we need a ritual to get rid of these ghosts.
Yo,
Oh,
Valdis, trap door. We need to move.
They know us. We're too late.
And,
I kind of sneak around to the back of Valdis and just go, I want to suck your blood.
I mean, it's probably tasty.
And with that, guys, that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Okay.
If anyone, this is your first time watching, I do upload these to youtube.com/TrainerJody, so feel free to go there and subscribe. You can follow me here. I do run D&D games just about every Tuesday night. If I'm not running this one, I have a custom campaign called The Kingdom, the Kale Isles, and you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at TrainerJody there. I generally tend to tweet before I go live. But that's all for me today, and I will see you guys next time, all right? Bye-bye.
Bye.